いいな。こんにちは。元気ですか？私は大学生なんです。Are you guys doing okay today? I sure hope so. And as you can probably tell, yes, it's nighttime and some dogs are barking. I hope this doesn't affect you too much. Anyway, it's been a good couple of months since ouch, I recorded anything um, audio related. I kind of just um, recorded a bunch, like about maybe sometime last year, early this year, and I just kind of stockpiled the audios and just released them one by one. So since my last video of the three unreleased um, audios, I don't have any more in stock, so I need to make more. Well, not more, but I will just do this one for I think November. I should be able to get it up before November ends. So what I wanted to talk about today, even though it is nighttime here, actually it's probably a little after 11 in the night, um, is not just my voice, but the accent that I use as well. Um, just from hearing my voice, I've had people assume that I was somewhere from Canada or the Americas because of the casual accent that I put on. And I think I'll just like keep saying this. I blame Barbie for influencing my little uh, child brain when, because I think I like grew up watching Barbie and stuff. And well, she has a accent like that, and I do tend to emulate the Barbie formula, I guess you could call it that. It's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to go get plastic surgery to look like her or something. No, I mean like Barbie character. What's the word I'm looking for here? How they act, how they sit. For instance, I do tend to pay attention to the smaller details about characters in games and shows and anything that I can really put my eyes on. And I noticed that the way that Barbie characters sit with their backs completely straight, it's been a habit of mine ever since I realized that I would sit with my back. I wouldn't lean against any chair unless it's in church. In which case, yeah, I actually have to lean against the back of the seat. But even in my own house, I don't lean against the back of the seat of wherever it is I may be um, sitting down. And because of this, my back muscles tend to get tight pretty quickly. So I do tend to go lie down after a while. I went off on a tangent here. Um, Back to the topic of my accent. This is literally a casual accent. I live in the Caribbean. I have never left the Caribbean. I have never been on an actual flying plane before. I have been to a neighboring island that has people on it. Those of you who don't know, I live in Trinidad, and if you were to look it up, you would find that the sister isle to said place is Tobago. When I was a kid, probably like maybe 3 years old, my parents actually took my sister and I. My sister is like 2 years younger than me, so she was really young. Both of us were so young that we didn't remember the trip, but there are pictures and stuff. Um, they took a boat to Tobago, so I have been to a different island, not for very long, and I don't remember it, but I have been technically out of the country, but not out of the Caribbean. So, just putting it at. Okay, one, two. Um, I'm gonna move away from the accent part a little bit. The way that I speak is very calculated, because as I was growing up, I was told that I would speak too quickly, and my younger sister had to be my quote unquote translator for me because my parents could not understand what I was saying. My aunts and uncles could not understand what I was saying. So it was annoying for me to have to slow down my speech. But I guess it helped me out eventually because, well, now I do this, right? I use my voice and I talk to people, and if I talk too quickly, not only can people cannot understand me, but the YouTube caption system also will not be able to understand me. And this is where I segue into my next segment. The fact of my accent is that whenever I speak standard English, which is what you're hearing right now, this is the accent that I use. I cannot speak standard English um, in my own quote unquote language and keep the accent. Basically, again, my actual voice doesn't sound like this. My actual accent doesn't sound like this. And in order to show you guys, let you hear what my accent sounds like, I'm going to have to speak Creole, which you may not be able to understand. Okay, let me backtrack just a little bit. It's English. The Caribbean overall is English, right? But you know how some people, when they speak a language fluently, they tend to massacre it? And the way that they pronounce certain words, they slur the syllables together to form an entirely different uh, phrase, sentence. Yeah, this is how we Trinbagonians speak. It we chop up our words so badly that it doesn't even sound like English sometimes. I remember saying something to my mom, and immediately my brain was like, that did not sound like English. So, I could let you hear my actual accent. But in order to do so, I'm going to have to say something that you may not be able to understand. I will put subtitles, just in case. And also, the way that we speak is also technically not the way that you're supposed to speak. Again, like I say, I speak standard English when I'm recording, but not every place uh, speaks this way, and it makes it confusing if you were to try speaking. Basically, I don't expect uh, much of my viewership to be able to understand what I'm saying most of the time. Not just that, but I also have friends who are not English natively, so I also need to keep their understanding of English in consideration. And also YouTube captions as well. If I speak too quickly, YouTube captions would be like, what? So I have actually prepared a little bit of, I guess you could call it a little sentence, a phrase, a sentence, something, something like that, where I use my actual accent, but you may not be able to understand what I'm actually saying. Once I'm done with that, I will do a little part afterwards where I um, tell you certain words and then translate them, quote unquote, into what we would speak. For instance, if I give you like a little sentence, what would we actually say it as? Okay, so um, forgive me in advance. But I don't expect some of you to be able to understand what I'm going to say next. So, you know, forgive me again. Um, so let's see. I'm kind of nervous. Why? I don't know. Editing is a thing, but I don't like to edit. It's it's just not in my blood. Um. All right. So ah, at first I had a little bit of a what you call it, uh, got the guy giving directions to someone because I was actually once stopped on the street and asked where to go, and I'm like, I have lived in this neighborhood for almost my entire life, and I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't get out very often, so it was. Why was I on the street all by myself? Well, at that point, I think I was um, going somewhere. Um, we had a DVD club close by to our house that I would frequent because they sold DVDs there, and I would go there occasionally, and then pick up a movie, and then we would watch a movie for lunch. It would it was this one. Okay, so here. Okay, so you started this school, and then you're taking the road straight down, and then you're taking on the left, and then you stop by the traffic light, and then you're going right, and you're going straight up the hill, and when if you top of the hill, you have to go left, and then you see it have a big tree at the bottom of the road. Um, you pass that tree, and then you go straight, and then you take a first right. Yeah, uh, I don't want to say that like it's exhausting to use my accent because again, my uh my natural accent, even though I don't think I have an accent, I would have an accent to people who are not accustomed to hearing me speak in my language. Um, I can't separate the accent from the words, basically. So if you want to hear my accent, you're gonna also have to hear absolute nonsense, I suppose. Okay, so um, I remember when I said that our way of speaking is so chopped up and slurred that it doesn't sound very English. Okay, so if it is possible for a letter to be dropped from either the beginning, the end, or somewhere in the middle of a word, it will be dropped and used almost in tandem with other words just like that. So, um, for instance, the word can't. We actually pronounce that word as kya. I can't do that. What I mean by that is I can't do that. And sometimes I have to like almost rephrase the way that the sentence that I want to say. I need to rephrase it so that people can actually understand me. um, I don't want to say like I've been doing this for years or anything, but I mean, yeah, technically I've been doing it for years, but like not to quite the extent of. Oh, one more thing, just a quick. If you happen to be hearing it mostly, this audio mostly on the left, I'm sorry. My voice is actually kind of on the left of the phone, so um sorry. Uh, just 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 put it to set your speakers to mono instead of stereo, so that everything can just come through one earbud, however you call it, like it balances out the audio automatically. So I once heard something from my little sister when we were going to primary school. So in the school that we went to, the chairs and tables were I want to say made from the same wood. They were the type that you couldn't like separate. They were like molded together. So the table was always at a specific distance away from the chair. And there were like benches, so you could feasibly fit about 3 or 4 children on it pretty comfortably. Um, oh, and they were made entirely out of wood. So one day, my little sister came home and she said that her friend and said, and I quote, the termite look at we. And I find that so hilarious, and I still do today. Um, what that means is that you guys know the word lick, right? You know what it means, right? And you know the word termites, right? And you probably can guess the context of what I just told you and the phrase that I just told you, right? The termites ate away at the wood until the chair slash table combination was no more and could not be used anymore. So you know, we have literally a whole vocabulary of words that we pronounce so differently from practically the rest of the world. Um, like the word I, we pronounce it I, just I, like akiarura, right? Like that. And I was thinking I could do a little something where you guys give me words and I'll do another audio, quote unquote, translating them into Trinidadian, or I guess you could also call it Trinbagonian as well, where certain words can be translated. Again, everything is in English, but it doesn't sound very English to me, and I live here. So, if I don't know if you find it interesting or whatever, you could shoot a comment if you so feel like it, with a list of words, and I'll take a look through them and see if I could like translate them for you and maybe like make a sentence. Actually, let's see if I can do that right now. So okay, how about this? I went to the store and couldn't find anything. I'm pretty sure if a Trinidadian were to have this happen to them, they would say something along the lines of, I went down there and they ain't had nothing. Like I said, it doesn't sound very English to me. Um, let's see. Oh, also, we have local names for certain fruits. So while you're in the Caribbean, you may hear someone talk about something and you have absolutely no idea what it is until you actually see it, and you're like, oh, it's just that. why are you guys calling it that? It's this other thing. So, um, for instance, right? I didn't realize this until maybe like last year or something, and it shook me to my core, I swear. The name Zabuka, right? What type of fruit or vegetable do you think that is? I did not personally make this connection until I realized what the thing looked like. I've known what Zabuka is for years, but I never thought that it was actually avocado. I don't know how I didn't make that connection until very recently. Okay, so yes, a zabuka here is literally just an avocado. I don't know why. Um, we also have something called chana. It's actually chickpeas. And there's also a type of seasoning that you may not have heard before. It's called shadow benny, but here we call it bandanya, and it actually grows wild around our house. So sometimes my mom asks me to just go outside and pick some bandanya, and we would use it in like she would use it in like cleaning chicken and stuff. So um, there are also like other types of food that I just you know there is some types of food or snacks here that I would not be able to describe to you even if I tried. Like chili bibi. What in the hell is chili bibi actually? I don't know. It tastes like edible sand. That's that's about is all I can tell you. It looks like sand, fine sand. It feels like fine sand, but it's kind of spicy and you can eat it. I don't know how they make it. What? Um, the type of snacks and flavors that they have here, um, like, uh, actually, their go-to is actually cheese for most salty snacks. Um, we also got like passion fruit, mango. We have a couple of mango trees actually outside of our house. Um, uh, I could try explain to you what chutney is, but I don't think that I can really. It's it's when you take a fruit or something like that and you ow sorry uh, my lungs are doing that thing again where they just kind of don't want to take in air all of a sudden. It's when you take fruit and you grate it and grate it into practically into oblivion, and then I think some people put pepper in it and spices, and that's chutney. My sister and my mom usually like to take some green mangoes from our tree and make mango chutney. So uh, I'm I'm localizing the words so that you can understand, but we don't say mango. We say mango here. So you know that's also something you need to, like I said, if it is possible to drop a letter or several letters from a word, we'll find it and drop those letters and use it in our normal everyday conversation. However, there are actually some words that Trinbagonians don't use in normal ways of speaking. For instance, the word etc. There's no one local uses that term unless they're a teacher or a student, basically. It's it's like if someone wants to say something of that nature with that context, it would just say stuff. It's like um I got some groceries and stuff. Oh, and sometimes we don't use the past tense of words. We use the present tense of words for everything. Like I just mentioned, um, I got some groceries when it should have actually been I got some groceries. But no, we just say get, something like that. And it's used in practically every iteration of that word. It doesn't matter if it's supposed to be present tense or past tense. We'll just use the present tense anyway. Yeah, it's not. Scholars would not enjoy listening to us talk normally, and most locals don't have a problem with swearing. So there's also that. Uh, I say most locals because I've heard someone really loudly arguing somewhere next door, and they were just like cursing up a storm, and I'm like, excuse me? It's like 10 o'clock in the night. Why are you yelling? It only happened once, by the way. I don't know who they were. I didn't recognize their voices, but I think that they were just like there for the night or something like that. Very disconcerting. Oh my goodness, it's almost 30 minutes I've been talking. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop this. Remember what I asked of you. Um, this came about because my best friend is in a group where the people are not natively English and they can't understand him. Um, and he finds it difficult to just change the way that he talks. I find it easy to be able to change the way that I talk and explain things to people in a way that they can understand. I don't know how to do this. I just do it. There's something in my brain just kind of clicks where if oh my goodness, was that a mosquito? I think that was a mosquito. My hand hit something and I think I killed it. It was on my leg. Eh. If someone needs something rephrased, my brain has such a large vocabulary of words that when I speak, like how I'm speaking to you right now, it sometimes takes a couple of seconds to run through the list of words that I know and find the one that is appropriate to the context that I want to give. Sometimes my brain would come up with a word for a specific context, and I don't know how I know that that word fits in that context. Why? Oh, by the way, I used to read the dictionary as a child as a hobby. So that's probably where I got this massive vocabulary of words that I can't really use in normal conversation because they're too large and complicated to have people understand what they mean. So forgive me if sometimes I stutter because my brain is trying to get the words that I need to use in order to make people understand. But if I have to rephrase, so be it. Um, Also, playing Genshin co-op a lot has taught me certain words in various different languages, so that's fun. I'm learning a little bit of what you call it, Portuguese. And well, I know Spanish, a little bit of Spanish from high school because it was a forced subject. Uh, anyway, I'm gonna leave this one here. I hope this was educational for you. Um, and I retract my previous statement of if you leave your channel alone for a week, it will not explode. It may actually do that because YouTube doesn't like people to take breaks, which is why YouTubers don't do it very often and they get burnt out really quickly. Uh, but still, I advise you, if you feel like you're getting burnt out and you have a channel, whatever, take a break. Please. It's going to drive you into the ground, and your channel will suffer because of it. Your channel may drop in the amount of views and subscribers that you have, but it's not the end of the world. You could live off of water for like a week. It's fine. Okay, that was morbid. I'm sorry. Uh, just try to stay hydrated and try to sleep as much as you can. I know some people sleep all the time and some people can't sleep at all. I don't know what to say to both genres of people. Sleep, I guess, or don't sleep if you feel like it. I'm rambling. I'll get going now. Sayonara.